everybody. Hey, hi. It's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is virtual stitching retreat where you follow me along on my sewing journey, and I hope I inspire you to put something under the needle. I see lots of faces in the chat. Well, I see lots of names in the chat that were at our uh, sewing retreat in El Campo. You guys, Frito is here and she's ready for her treats. She hears me start talking. Let's get some Frito time, shall we? This is our little rescue. Frito. Yes, he is right there. There's my girl. Aw. Yeah, she's going to go over there. Okay. I've got another biscuit if you want it, Frito. All right. That's funny. Oh, my goodness. Great to see everybody here. We are at our little house in Port O'Connor, Texas. Any kind of hurricane that's happening in the Gulf is not coming towards us. It is heading more towards Florida. So I was talking to Candace, who was at our retreat. She said she lives in Orlando. They pretty much hurricane-proof their house, so they're good to go there. But it's early here. Oh my goodness, I'm looking at my face. I'm like, oh, great to see everybody. Oh my goodness. I think that is just wonderful to see you guys. How's the weather in Port O'Connor? Warm? It is. It is very steamy. It's going to be hot and steamy today, just like always. And they said a 50% chance of rain. So not like we need it. Yeah, you guys, Elizabeth has it. Hit the thumbs up, y'all. I appreciate that so much. It's been a great trip. We are down here with Michelle and Matt. They were with us in El Campo and are coming. They came down here just to hang. The boys are going to go fishing today. Boring. Michelle and I are heading up to Victoria, Texas to go to Quilter's Patch. So we should be up there, I think, around 10:30 or so. If you guys are local and want to pop in and say hi, that would be awesome. I'd love to see you guys. Hey, Nancy from Shirts. There's my neighbor. Yeah. So I was talking to Harriet last night, Quilting with Harriet. If you guys have Pro Stitcher, check out her new YouTube channel. She is working out the whole camera thing and she's still in the learning phase. So grace is required, please. But she has set me up to go to teach a snap-a-K class in Indiana next year in the end of April. So she is setting all that up. And there's only 28 beds in the facility. I have it here on my phone to tell y'all where it's going to be at. There's only 28 beds in the facility, and she is already got 30 people who want to come. Good morning, handsome.
Good morning.
He just rolled out. He and Matt are gonna go get the boat, launch it. Let me pull up Harriet's. She texted me yesterday the place and it's Beach Country Retreat in Holton, Indiana. So I will be there April 27th through the 29th. So I'm going to fly up there. I won't be staying at the retreat. I'm going to be hanging out with Harriet at her house. So she's going to bunk me up there, and I appreciate that very much. But lots of fun. Also, we have feedback. Is the audio no good? Okay. I hear feedback. Possible. Shouldn't be. I have everything on mute here. You guys can let me know. Okay. All right. It looks fine. It looks like it's fine. I'm not getting that. Sounds fine. Thank you, Debbie. Also, just got a confirmation from Sewing Machines Plus. I will be doing their Takeover Tuesday beginning the first Tuesday of November, and I'm scheduled through the first Tuesday of March. So the first Tuesday of every month. I've got the time. I want to say it's like noon Pacific, maybe a little earlier, maybe 11, but I'll iron all that out. I'd have to double check my notes and whatnot. But thank you so much. Okay, got the audio working. But so I will be doing that, and I'm on long arming, and it's just so neat because if you've ever watched the Sewing Machines Plus like their Sew Fest or any of those things that they do. So Carly Bell is going to be doing the second Tuesday, I think. And then she's going to be doing embroidery. I'm going to be doing long arming on the King Quilter. And then the third Tuesday, Joanne Benko from Let's Go Sew. And she's got sewing, regular like garment sewing or whatever she's going to be working on. And then the fourth Tuesday is like living, I don't know, but that's with Jane. And Jane is usually a host. She's a professional. She's a polished broadcasting professional. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm already kind of chewing on some ideas of things that I want to do with you guys. Like Harriet mentioned the other day, maybe quilt as you go on the long arm. That would be cool. I've got a couple of quilts that I can put together doing that. And we will be doing some, I don't know, maybe, echoing around applique and then stitching in the back. So a candy cane table runner. I don't know, Cindy. We'll see. A buttered yellow cashmere sweater for fishing. Casey, that's actually a long sleeve moisture wicking shirt. And they're made out of a really, really light mesh. And they're all the rage down on the coast of everywhere you go because it's so hot. It keeps the sun off of you and allows your skin to breathe. And it's what they all wear. So a lot of times you'll see them with them. They have a hoodie made out of these things. And then the guys are wearing gaiters as well across their face just to keep the sun off. So they are great shirts. I know, made by Margie. She was with us at our RV retreat. We had so much fun, you guys. Oh my goodness. Somebody asked in the chat just before we started about the cost of the cabins. When we schedule these things, and they may change from this year to next, who knows? So I don't know, but you have to be sure to ask for the rally rate because there is a significant difference between the rally rate. And I will tell you guys, the cabins, while they say they sleep 6, 4 of the beds are upstairs. It's 2 of the beds, and they're like queens, but they're in a loft. So you have to walk around all hunched over. I've got some slow internet there. There we go. So, if you have mobility issues, there is not a ramp into those cabins. And then the cabins sleep 2 downstairs in a king size bed. I'm hung up on the internet. I wonder if my husband jumped on my router. He probably is outside looking at his phone. Yeah. I don't have a cable with me to hardwire in here. Okay. So while I'm here, I was working on, I wanted to show you guys. I started the Chantilly. There's a Chantilly. It was a block of the month. That fell off. And it's from Connecting Threads. So I seem fine. My internet's fine. Thank you, Betsy. I appreciate that. All right. Oh. So it's a block of the month, and I'm bringing them down here because I'll just work on them here. This is going to go on this bed here, or one of the beds here at the coast. So I just left it all down here. I've got month 1 finished, and that's it. So everything else has been stacked up. We just haven't been down here. We've been so crazy busy. Yeah. You had a wonderful time. Oh, Vicki Phillips. I am being besieged with requests for a pattern for that book stand. Now, Vicki saw that either on Instagram or Pinterest, and she just saw the book stand herself, and then she kind of created the pattern for it in her head. And she told me before she checked out the other day that she would be creating the book stand, like draw kind of. Can you create the pattern, Vicki, or not? I don't know. So she's working on it. Oh, I had a change of plans, you guys. I had said that I was going to leave the creative grids down in, or leave them in the coast. And I just said, I think I'd rather have them here. I'm sorry. I said I would. My husband's back there and I'm distracted. He's putting on his keen water shoes so he can safety in the boat, you guys. Safe boat safety. Yeah. No, y'all. Honestly, if you have to jump out of the boat, the odds of you. We had a friend who had a boating accident 4 years ago and 5 years ago. I think it was. I don't remember. Anyway, he was trying to climb up on the bank, and it was all those shells, barnacles, oyster shells, yes, on the bank. And he really tore up his feet badly. So I'm just like, okay, so everybody, Vicki, send me she says, yes, ma'am. She'll send me the pattern. Vicki, may I post it on my blog? And then I can send people to the blog and they can get it. So thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So anyway, I make him wear his keen water shoes so that he can do whatever he needs to do. But if he, a lot of these guys wear Crocs, and I'm like, you're out of your mind, because a Croc is going to fly off in a boating accident. So you need to have those water shoes strapped on your feet, right? Okay, so where on earth was I? So, I was talking about my creative grids. I said I was going to leave them in the motorhome. Well, I quilt a lot less in the motorhome than I do here. So I had a bunch of haphazard rulers here. I went ahead and moved those over back to the other side of the room. Those are going to go in the motorhome. And my creative grids, my new rulers that I picked up at Two Chicks Quilting, are going to stay here. Okay. All right. Friend of mine, a neighbor here, gave me this cup. She's so sweet. Okay. So what pattern you're late? Deborah, it's for the pattern stand or tablet stand that I had in the motorhome. Our motorhome is actually parked at a friend's house across the street. They have a big old driveway. We have a circle drive, and it's small, and it would never fit. It would never fit. So it's over there at their house. Okay. What else was I going to tell y'all? I'm working on the holiday. This is the Jolly Bar Quilt Along. I'm supposed to have a reveal tomorrow. Mine's going to be late. And because I only have this is the reveal for this week, is these 3 blocks. And this is going to be tomorrow. You'll get the instructions tomorrow. I've got a link below to the weekly release of the instructions, the cutting guide, to tell you how to put this together. But no, not how to put it together. The cutting guide tells you what sizes to cut. You've got to get the book to tell you exactly how to sew it together and how it's supposed to be made. So I've only got this one done because I got a little distracted with our sewing retreat last weekend. Y'all, that was so much fun. Oh my goodness. I'm waiting on Bonnie to tell me when we're good to go with the next one. Bags by Bags of Style, YouTube and directions. Carolyn Dowdy. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. That's fine. But I'm going to have you can send me hers. Okay. You're in Galveston 2 months ago, came across lots of jellyfish. Be careful. Yes. Oh, he just fired up that boat. I can hear running water through it. So anyway, that's the block I was working on, and we're going to go home tomorrow, and then I'll be able to work on all the rest of the blocks and get caught up. Hopefully by Friday. So this book requires all kinds of squaring up with half square triangles. And I had shown y'all, I had that 4.5-inch square up ruler last week that had the washi tape on the back. Echo, echo. Sorry. Okay, it's better now. I think it's because the microphone on my laptop and the microphone on my camera are both working, and I don't know how to mute the camera. It's gone now. Okay. Yes, it's the Christmas quilt that's getting caught up. It's good now. Okay. Yeah, I saw my camera freeze up. Y'all, I'm on the coast. We have good internet here. No more echo when I talk loud. Okay. Well, or when I move. Okay. So there's a lot of half square triangles in this block that need to be caught up. Well, caught up. I'm reading caught up. There's a lot of half square triangles that have to be squared up. And if you don't have one of those squaring rulers, I wanted to show you some options that you can use to be able to get this done without having a square up ruler. And down here, I had another one. Don't talk so loud and sit still. Hey, you know I can't do that. So I have, this is a Creative Grids folded corner clipper. Once again, I don't like the title because it doesn't tell you what it is. This is a half square triangle square up ruler that you do on the fold while it's folded. So I don't like how my internet is choppy. And we're down here too. It shouldn't be this bad. I'll tell you guys what, this internet comes to a complete screeching halt when it's in season and there's people down here. So I wanted to show you how to use the folded corner clipper. Phyllis says she has one. She uses it all the time. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry for the echo. Hold on. Let me do something here on my settings. Let me do this. That should help. How's that? I think that will work better. I've got two cameras right here. So I just know I turned off the mic on the other camera. Better now. Yay, good, good, good. One camera at a time, huh? Okay. Thank you all for the feedback. I appreciate it. Good, good, good. All right, so let's get into this. And I want to show you how these things work. I've got a link to this below at the Fat Quarter Shop, but I wanted to show you how they work. So I'm going to jump over to this other camera over here. Ta-da, the Magic TV. Yay. Now, I've gone ahead and sewn this down. Did I do both sides? I did not. I need to sew the other side. I've got the, let me get back over here to this one. And I'm going to turn it toward my sewing machine. There we go. And again, I'm going to sew just inside the line of the pencil marks that I made. I've already got the block almost done. See? Ta-da! Again, the Magic TV. And I'm just going to sew this right inside. No, you can't go fishing with Daddy. All right. Thank you. Have a good time. Be safe. He's complaining. Situation normal. Well, we have our e-bikes are on the back. Thank you, Connie. I love that candy cane fabric too. It's from Reindeer Games by me and my sister from Moda. So let's see here. There we go. All right. So I drew two lines with the pencil. And then, you know what I need to do? I've got to mirror that camera. That's messing me up drastically. Let me see if I could do this. Y'all, it's a setup thing, right? It's a setup thing. Where is my, My mouse is like, what do you want me to do? Nope, I don't want to do that. Okay. So I put the ruler, I don't have my little 1/4 inch seam guide here. I don't have my 1/4 inch seam guide. So what do? Right? So I put the ruler 1/4 inch mark on the corner of the block. Let me zoom in. I'm going to go down to my thing here. You know, the one thing I do not like about this MacBook that I got spoiled with a Microsoft touchscreen. Oh, I miss that. All right. So what I'm going to do, if you don't have one of those 1/4 inch seam guides that are really nice to have, really nice, what you do is you just put your 1/4 inch line on your ruler right on the corner of the block, corner to corner, just like this. And then I drew a line with my pencil, right? And then flipped it around and did it the same. So you don't have to have those fancy rulers. I mean, they're fun and they're easy, but you don't have to have them. Okay, so I put it I put the 1/4 inch mark corner to corner from the ruler, and then I drew the line, and that's how I got my drawn lines on my block here. And see, I sewed just inside of those block lines. Why? Because it gives me a little bit of extra room to trim. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I have a biscuit here for the Frida. You want a biscuit? There you go. So I'm going to trim these now. I'm going to put the ruler corner to corner. Okay. No, I don't have my glasses. And I'm going to trim it. Okay. Now, the folded corner clipper. I want to show you guys how this works. If you haven't seen it, I got a lot of brand new quilters. So the folded corner clipper, you can still see the pencil. I'm going to hold it till it focuses. You can still see the stitch line, I think. There. You can still see the stitch line where I sewed. Okay. So this thing, what you do, I need a 4.5 inch square. So where's my okay. So I need a 4.5 inch square. So I'm going to put this down to the 4.5 inch mark on the fabric. All right. You put this straight line right here. I'm going to put this straight line right there on the stitch line. And I can see the 4.5 right here. My thing is in the way. Let me move it. There. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Okay. So I have the stitch line and I can see it. I'm going to put this black line right here on the stitch line. And here's the 4.5 right here. And I like to leave a little bit extra. You kind of see there's a little bit extra hanging out from underneath that 4.5. So I want to have a little bit hanging out here on this side and a little bit hanging out here underneath the 4.5 inch down here. That's going to give you a really clean cut. And I'm going to come back over here and let you guys watch me while I chase my glasses around this house from somewhere. They are somewhere. I have them right over here. Where'd they go, Frito? Where did my glasses go? Because I can't see. There they are. Okay. All right. Okay. You guys talking about floods? Thank you, Debbie. Like, yes, I appreciate that very much. All right. So let's go back to that other camera. All right. So now I have a little bit hanging out here and a little bit hanging out underneath the 4.5. And my black line is right on the stitch seam line for this half square triangle. And what you do, I'm going to turn a little bit, is you're just going to here trim that. And I'm going to, this is the folded corner clipper part. Cut that. I'll go this way. And it does take your little dog ears off. That's the whole thing, right? So I'll pull this. All right. So now that side looks good. You can do it right on the edge down here. I don't care to. Okay. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it the other way. And again, I'm going to put my black line here, right on that seam line. And now I want my 4.5 on my second cut to be right on the edge of the fabric. Right on the edge. Make sure it looks good. And I'm going to trim it again. And this way. So this is before, I'm going to hold, look at that. This is before you iron them open, okay? There. So that's how you work the folded corner clipper, and you end up with a perfect 4.5 inch square, or 3.5, or 2.5, or 5, or whatever it is that you want to make with these. Let me get that paper to show you guys. So you can do all sizes of half square triangles. This camera needs to be flipped around. It's driving me crazy. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. All right. So now, you guys, I'm going to remove that camera. I want to go back to my settings. Hold on a second here. And I need to undo that. Okay. And I'm going to do this. And now I'm going to add that back to stage. Ah, better. Okay. And I'm going to do this again. That's better. All right. Making me nuts. Making me nuts. So you don't have a folded corner clipper. You don't have the, have the square up rulers. You don't have to have that fancy stuff, you guys. You just don't. So, all right. What do? Well, let me show you. Okay. So here is, like, again, they're fun to have and it's great, but you don't have to have that. So here's a standard quilting ruler. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it has, and almost all of them will, you've got a 45-degree angle on your ruler right here. Okay. So let me show you. They'll all have it pretty much. If you've got one that doesn't have a 45-degree angle, go get one. You're going to want that. Okay. So, and it doesn't have to be expensive. You can get one from Walmart. You can get the Fiskars brand, whatever. It doesn't have to be fancy. Okay. I'll show you a new one, Enabler. Yeah, I know, Erin. It's what I do. But I love the folded corner clipper. It works well. But I'm trying to show this for people who aren't, some folks that they're on a budget, fixed income, and we can appreciate that. So now what you have to do, if what you have is this one, whatever one it has, y'all don't freak out that my iron is on my mat, because there's a big thick wool mat under here and there's a pizza stone under there. So at ease, okay? Don't freak out. I'm not warping my mat. And it's sitting on its silicone thing. So I'm going to press this open. Press to the dark. Right? And look at my clapper here. Okay. Nice. So there's my 4.5 inch half square triangle. Very nice. Now, this one I'm going to press to the dark again. I'll finger press that. You got to open these up to use the whole ruler method. It's just a matter of figuring it out. So stand down, Michelle. You like stand down. You guys, I'm prior military, if you cannot tell. I was in the military for 20 years, active duty Air Force, and then I was civil service for 17. So my vernacular represents that. Okay. So, all right. Hi, Erica. Glad you joined us. Okay. So my 45 degree, I've got one this way and I've got one this way as well. This particular ruler has that. So all you have to do, here's my 4.5 inch. Now on this ruler, and I highly encourage you, if you're going to be buying rulers, get the one that has an extra 1/2 inch on the side. That is so handy. So you can count whole inches from this side, right? But 1/2 inches from this half. So if you need to cut a 2.5 inch strip, you cut from this side and there's your 2.5 right there. Very, very handy to have that. So it doesn't matter on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this black line, my diagonal, and I'm going to put it right on the seam line, right on, whoop, what am I doing? How did I do this last night? Let's see. How did I do this last night? Put it right on the seam line. Yeah. Get all this stuff out of the way. And I want, there's my 4.5 inch dot. Okay. So I'm going to move the 4.5 inch dot over here. And again, I want to leave a tiny bit extra if you can. If you've got a little bit extra, that's good. That's why I sewed inside of the seam lines just a little bit. Okay. So here's my 4.5 inch line. I'll show you guys right there. Okay, there's the 4.5. And down here, here's my 4.5 right there. So see, I got a little bit hanging out from underneath. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. I want to make sure it's right on that, my diagonal is right on that seam line. And I'm going to cut like that and like that. Okay. Well, that's good. Cut that half. And now I'm going to flip it around and do the other side. So now I can put my, on your second cut, you always put the measurement right exactly on it. So 4.5. Here's my 4.5 inch line here. And here's my 4.5 inch line here. And I've got a little extra hanging out. And my diagonal is right on that seam line exactly. So for you embroiderers that are becoming quilters, because I've got a lot of you guys that follow me, that's how you square up without a fancy ruler. And you get a perfect 4.5 inch or 5 or whatever you want, whatever you need. That's very, very handy to do. Okay. So yeah, I had mini Oliso irons. Yes. The thing with that new mini Oliso is that it has a timer and it shuts off. I've got the one from Tula that just came out. Yeah, they're $85. And the safety nanny's got a hold of that. See this one right here? This one doesn't turn off. I love it. Because when I'm stitching, I do not want my iron to shut off. That's why I have that ugly Sapporo gravity fit iron. That thing is ugly but effective, and it works great, and it's hot, and I love it. So you were so wonky till you started using your rulers. Yeah, Celia. You guys, that's what they're for. Okay. I love it. So I've got two very pretty half square triangles. I need to sew these together, and My brain always does it. Let me show you guys what I'm doing here. Okay. So this is how I do my, I don't know why when I'm sewing these, if I was to put them like this, see my brain, I can't, I don't know which way there. That's how, whoop, that's how they're supposed to go. I see two of me. So I'm making these, and they're not flying geese in this particular pattern. It's 2 half square triangles. Okay, you needed the tip, Elizabeth. You're welcome. Yeah. So I'm going to pop this over. Now my seam allowances are going the same way. That one's got a bend in it. What's that doing? We'll heat that up. Okay. So the seam allowances are going, now see my, all right, now I'm going to do this one. The seam allowances are going the same way. They're both to the dark, which is what we're taught, is to press your seams to the dark so you can't see your seam allowance into the light fabric. Well, if you want a good nest, you're going to have to sew your seam allowances. One of them is going to have to press over. So I'm just going to finger press this one, and then I'm going to nest them, like butting those seams right up together. And I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to even these up. Because the seams are on a diagonal, I am going to pin straight. If the seams were straight, I would pin at a diagonal, but I'm going to pin straight in one side of the seam allowance and out the other to anchor that seam allowance together. And then down here at the bottom, they like to dance around, and we don't like that. No dancing of fabric. This is not a party yet. I'm going to pin these together straight so that this stays the way I want it, okay? So I pinned that edge together and then this. All right. Now I'm going to sew them together. Back to sewing machine. What did you do? Okay. Y'all, these are basic quilting skill tips. You can see here, I don't have a lot of fancy stuff. You know, if you're going to be quilting, this is probably a straight stitch machine is probably all you need. They're not crazy expensive, about $1,000 for a good straight stitch machine. You don't have to have the fancy luminaire and all that. If anything, you're going to get better quilt results. I'm going to go slow over that pin. I do sew over my pins in the beginning, like I've got a piece of hair in my eye. It's driving me crazy. So I go slow over this because I want that seam to be anchored together before I pull the pin. Don't pull the pin before you get to the seam, okay? Because then it can open up. All right. I'm running, I have a 1/4 inch foot on this machine, and I am running the fabric edge right along the edge of that 1/4 inch foot. If you have a straight stitch machine, I'm sorry, if you have a regular sewing machine, some of them, I know Brother and Baby Lock, you can stitch width from center 5.5 to the right and get a 1/4 inch seam on the side of your J foot. All right, what happened here? Let's see, did I get it? I did. I tried this the other day and sewed it wrong. Ta-da, right? Look at that 1/4 inch seam and look at that join on that point. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful, beautiful. Fancy. And I'm just going to fold them over one way or the other. So if I fold them over, one way it's going to look red. I'm going to look at the red as I sew, and the other way, I'm going to look at the white. And it just, so let me see which way my other seam allowance is going in the middle. So this is how it's all going to go together. So I'm going to fold it with the red on top so that this seam allowance is going this way and this seam allowance is going this way, and that'll work. Okay. So that's just how I'm going to do it. So I'm just kind of getting a game plan of which way I want to fold. My stitch length, Elizabeth, is 2.5. Nesting makes perfect corners. It does. All right, I've got to sew 2 more blocks onto the ends of this piece right here. So let's do that. Shall we? And they're right here. I also use that 4.5-inch squaring up with that ruler to just make plain 4.5-inch blocks because they were cut at a larger size. When you're using this particular pattern book, they cut at a larger size because you're using a jolly bar, which means you're starting with a 5.5-inch square, and my needle came in. I don't like that. No, it doesn't work. This is my new, now this is my second PQ 1500. I have one at home, and then I have one here. Like I said, they're not crazy expensive. So I didn't mind having another one. Right, let me make sure. I'm going to go ahead and pin these bottom edges so they don't dance around. No dancing. Not until the party's over. All right. And one more. So I think it's so cool. The method I'm using right now to switch back and forth to camera on my cameras, I actually learned from Joanne Banco. She and I were talking one night, and I'm like, "How do you switch your cameras back and forth? I can't figure it out." And she told me, and I thought, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I love our community. She is the sweetest lady in your life. And we were on the phone, and I was like, you gotta help me out. I'm suffering here. I can't figure out how to switch my cameras. And she said, oh, I just do it this way. And I was like, you're brilliant. All right. I've got my 1/4 inch up there at the top. Okay. Okay. You're absolutely right. Dean says, I seem to show you and tell you good terms, different terms, right? Different terms. Yeah, I teach based on, and it is from my years of teaching airmen in the Air Force. Yeah, that's what you do. Okay, now this is me. When I sew a 9 patch, I know this is more than a 9 patch, but it's still inside and outside. Whatnot. Let me explain this to you. So when I sew a 9 patch, in effect, this is a patch, this is a patch, this is a patch. Okay, and then here's one, so it's a unit. But when I sew a 9 patch, my Freedom, that dog, she's back there licking, making all kind of noise. I can't think. Freedom, you silly girl. Okay. So when I sew a 9 patch, when I sew the sides to the center, I press my seams in to the center. On the center row, I press my seams in always. I just kind of make it a habit. So when I'm sewing the rows 1 and 3, I'll press these seams outward. Okay. So I'm pressing the seams outward. And that way I know everything's going to nest nice and pretty. And I bent that one. Freedom, my goodness. She's a dog, y'all. Back there snorting and carrying on. Couldn't hear a thing. Couldn't hear myself think. All right. And yeah, I press from the back sometimes. I want it to be pretty on the back too, right? Just because everything nests together better. Frito. Okay. So now when I go to nest this, and I just, like I said, I just kind of make it a habit. Let me put this up here. Hold on. I need room. I know my name is in the way. Let's do this. There we go. That's better. Okay. So now if you look at the seams, so these are opposite, and these are opposite. And it works, right? Now, I'm not going to sew blind because I don't like doing that. And I don't want to tip the point. So what I'm going to do is down here, where that point is, I'm going to put a pin right through at the tip. There's a little bit of white pattern too, and I'm going to put it right there. That's the tip of that point. And on the back, remember, I'm going to end up sewing on the red. I'm going to put a little pencil mark where the pin came through. There. So there's my landing spot, right? That's where I want to make sure to hit that pencil mark. Put that up there where you can see it. I want to hit that. I cheat, you guys. I cheat all the time. Easy, easy, easy. All right, this goes here. Okay. So now I'm going to nest these seams, butt them up together, nice nest. And these are straight seams, so I'm going to pin at an angle, 45. I'm going to go in one side of the seam allowance and out the other, and that anchors that together. And when you go at a diagonal, that allows you, as you're coming down the thing, it allows you to go 1 to 2 stitches over the seam join and then pull the pin. Okay. And then I'm going to put these two together, the pin in one side of the seam allowance, out the other. I'm going to pin these together so they don't dance around. You guys are going to start pinning your corners and you're going to go, don't be dancing around. I know it. I got a couple other pins over here. I only got one, and I'm going to need 2. Okay. So I'm going to nest these. Now see all my seam allowances are all going the right way because I make it a habit on my 9 patches, on my outer ones, or sometimes even if you're doing a whole bunch of, I'll do odd rows, seams press outward, even rows, seams press inward. And it just works. Butt them up together. And so when I first iron them at the ironing board, that's what I do. Okay, that all looks good, y'all. Looking good. Okay, perfect. Okay. We are ready to stitch this together. Is it cold in South Africa? Aisha, thank you for joining us, sweetie. Stay inside where it's warm and sew, right? Okay. So now I'm going to, y'all, I'm sorry, my husband's playing with his tackle boxes, getting ready to go fishing. Okay. So let's sew these all together. I'm going to stop before the pin on this one. I'm going to go one over. This isn't holding a seam together, so it's okay. For those of you that have this machine, if you like needle minders like I do, okay, this is a little glory hole needle minder. If you like needle minders like I do, Right over here on the back corner of this machine, there's a piece of metal under there that will jump to and stay. It's wonderful. Uh-oh, I got a bubble. I'll show you how to fix that. I'm going to stop sewing right here. I got a bubble. See it? We don't like bubbles. No bubbles. So I'm going to sew from the other side and let the feed dogs ease in that fabric. Okay. So you guys give me a thumbs up if you're sitting there doing nothing. Okay. Appreciate it very much. So I'm just going to start kind of in the middle. I'm going to go over very slowly. All right. And then I'm going to pull this even. Okay. Crossed over the seam that I started with. That'll work. I don't know where that bubble came from. Let's see how I did. Yeah, baby. That's how you do it. Okay. Now I got to be sure to get that black point. Okay. That black dot. That's what I'm aiming for. And I run 2 stitches over the seam. I can pull this. And you guys, there's another thing that I learned from Janet Prey from Islander Sewing Systems. In industry, they don't use pins because they don't have time. And so you sew, hold on to the fabric, thumb under, fingers on top, and use your fingers and roll it away, roll the fabric away from you. And that prevents problems with the feed dogs. It prevents the lower fabric from being pulled through faster than the top. And that's what they do in industry. And this block especially, it's just nonstop bias cuts, right? Nonstop. Let's see how we did. I'm not going to show you guys. I'm going to be. Okay. So my 2 straight seams, I got that one just perfect. And I got this one just perfect. This one, I'm a little bit away from it. See that? I got a little bit of red right there. Unsatisfactory or unsat wrong. Unsat. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to 1 thread width away. I'm going to stitch right next to that stitch line. I'm not going to tear it out. I'm just going to start kind of in the middle of the block, right next to middle of the block on either side. And I'm going to do 1 thread needle width essentially. And then ease back in, cross over that stitch, that first stitch line. Oh, that's not good at all. Sometimes that works. It did not. Why? So the point part worked. It's not nested properly. See, that nest is off. Now I got to rip it apart. Nope. You guys, this is life. This is quilting life, right? This is how it goes. So I'm going to undo a couple stitches where I started or stopped. This is a keep ripper. We just put more of these on the store site, powertoolsforthreadstore.com, whatever we had left over from El Campo. So I just undid a couple of stitches. I'm going to put my finger down, give it some pressure, point the red ball down, push. Okay. And when you get to the join, you got to be careful. Yeah, there we go. Double stitching is a little bit more difficult. Yeah, so when you stitch one little line inside, it works fine. But if your nest is wrong, that doesn't help that, right? You never see it 40 feet away. Well, Jude, yeah, but I won't sleep at night. See, there's that. Jack came out to play. I know, right? Ah, that happens, y'all. It's no big deal. I think Fredo's upset because she can't go fishing with Daddy. She likes to go fishing. You're not going to take Fredo fishing?
No.
Okay. You don't get to go, Fredo. Sorry. Who knows how long they'll be out? You know, they do have shade on the boat. All right, let's do this again. So the nest was the problem.
It's hotter than food brown.
Is it already hot out there? Yeah, it's already humid. It's like a sauna, y'all. It's like a sauna. Okay. So let's try it again, shall we? Hitting that black point. Start before the stitching stopped. Dang, I couldn't get that again. It's going to be one of those days. So the point part of it is right, and the nest is not. The nest is off. I'm not inspiring you, I'm sure. Y'all, it'll be right before I put it in the quilt, I promise. It'll absolutely be right. Now I've got thread all over me. Oh my goodness. I think the problem is I need more coffee. Mm-mm. I can't leave it. I can't leave it. What are you doing? You had that happen this week too, Lynn. Yeah, it happened. I know. I know. That's the way it goes, right? We just sit here and do it and do it, do it, and then do it. Hope we get it right. We're gonna make it work. You have to be patient. Give yourself some grace. This too in time shall pass, right? That's how we do it. And just get better. So it even happens to the best of us. Well, I do not want to slice my fabric. And you prevent that by pointing that ball downwards. Is the third time a charm? We shall see. It's crazy in Missouri. Is it cold? It's fall, y'all. It's fall, y'all. All right. So when you absolutely cannot get a nest to work, there's a method. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to go where the seam is on the point, and I'm going to put it in the seam allowance a quarter of an inch down, right next to where it goes. I do this in Designs by Juju when I'm putting those blocks together with her in the hoop projects. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going, Sandra. She said try pinning on before and after, and that's exactly right. So now I'm pinning on where they need to go, and I'm holding the pin horizontal. So I know that it's straight. Now I'm going to take another pin. I'm going to pin it after the join straight. I'm going to pin it before the join straight. And now it looks like this. We'll see. Let's see if we can't get this working now. You guys, all quilters go through this. Don't think that if this happens to you, it doesn't happen to people who do it all the time. I'm going to go really slow. There's one pin. Second pin. It's worse than before. Ah, I'll make it. It'll be right. I'll show you guys tomorrow. I got it. I know crap. It's fine. Happens. I could glue base the seam. I know there's a lot of different tricks to be able to do that. There's my handsome husband. You want to wave to everybody, babe? Oh my goodness. The big winner, Donna, amen. Deborah, who are you asking about? Let's see. So the U-shaped pins might work. I might do that. I don't have any here, but people are saying hi, Keith. Yeah. So, all right, you guys, this has been fun and frustrating, but quilting can be that way sometimes. So it's okay. I'm going to get this right. And if it takes me 10 times, I'm going to get it right. Thank you so much for spending your morning with me. If you're watching on replay, thank you so much. You guys that are in the virtual kitchen, we've got a different cleanup crew this week. So be sure to turn the lights off on your way out. All right. We'll talk to you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. You guys go sew something. Bye.
Go something.
Oh, Keith. Silly guy.